Have you ever wondered why dragons, these mythical creatures, are found in both Eastern and Western cultures? These magnificent beings, often depicted with colossal wings, sharp claws, and fiery breath, have captured human imagination for centuries. They've been woven into the fabric of our folklore, our literature, our art, and even our architecture. Yet, the origins of these mythical beasts remain shrouded in mystery. Dragons are truly a global phenomenon. From the serpent-like Naga of Southeast Asia to the fire-breathing behemoths of European medieval tales, their depictions vary as widely as the cultures they hail from. Yet, despite the geographical and cultural distances, there are striking similarities in these dragon myths. They are always powerful, always awe-inspiring, and always a force to be reckoned with. One might wonder, how did such similar myths originate in places so far apart? Could there be a common ancestor, a real creature that inspired these legends? Or is it a testament to the universality of human imagination, our shared fears and aspirations? These are the questions that make the world of dragons so intriguing. In the East, dragons are often seen as benevolent, wise, and associated with water and agriculture. They are revered as deities, symbols of imperial power and bringers of good luck. Contrastingly, in the West, dragons are usually depicted as malevolent creatures, hoarding treasures, causing destruction, and needing to be slain by brave knights. Despite these differences, they are both symbols of power and might, respected and feared in equal measure. Over the centuries, dragons have transcended their mythological origins to become cultural icons. From the dragon dances of Chinese New Year celebrations to the dragons of popular fantasy novels and films, they continue to ignite our imaginations and our fascination with the unknown. In this journey, we will explore the rich tapestry of dragon lore, traversing continents and epochs to uncover the historical and cultural significance of these mythical beasts. Stick around as we delve deeper into the historical and cultural significance of dragons in both Eastern and Western cultures. When we think of dragons in the East, we often envision benevolent creatures associated with wisdom and prosperity. And indeed, this depiction is deeply rooted in the rich tapestries of Eastern cultures, particularly in the mythologies of China and Japan. Here, dragons are not the fire-breathing monsters of Western lore, but symbols of power, wisdom, and good fortune. Let's start with the Chinese dragon, or Long. These majestic beings are revered as divine creatures, associated with the emperor and the celestial realm. They are the bringers of rain, crucial for agriculture, and are thus seen as a symbol of life and abundance. The Chinese dragon is a harmonious blend of various animals. It possesses the scales of a carp, the paws of a tiger, and the belly of a clam, among other features. This amalgamation of traits from different animals speaks to the dragon's role as a symbol of unity and the harmony of opposites. Now, let's hop over to the island nation of Japan. Here, too, dragons hold a significant place in cultural folklore. Known as Ryu or Tatsu, Japanese dragons, much like their Chinese counterparts, are water deities associated with rainfall and bodies of water. Unlike the Chinese dragon, however, Japanese dragons typically have only 3 claws. These creatures are often tied to themes of balance and duality, often depicted coiled around a symbolic object or focal point, such as a sacred jewel or a towering mountain. From guardian spirits to symbols of imperial power, dragons in the East embody a multitude of roles and meanings. They are harbingers of good fortune and prosperity, revered for their wisdom and power. Yet, they also encapsulate the duality of nature, both the serenity of a calm river and the tumult of a stormy sea. Eastern dragons, with their serpentine bodies and wise demeanor, present a stark contrast to their Western counterparts. Indeed, they serve as a vivid reminder of the diverse ways in which cultures around the world perceive and understand these fascinating creatures. Unlike the benevolent dragons of the East, Western dragons are often depicted as fearsome beasts, guarding treasures and causing destruction. In the annals of Western mythology, these creatures are seen as symbols of chaos, destruction, and greed. Their depictions range from the serpentine, fire-breathing monsters of Greek lore to the treasure-hoarding, powerful beasts in Norse and medieval European myths. In Greek mythology, dragons often played the role of guardians or obstacles that heroes needed to overcome. One such example is the dragon Ladon, who guarded the golden apples in the Garden of the Hesperides. This creature, like many of its kind in these stories, was eventually slain, reinforcing the notion of dragons as adversaries to be conquered. The Norse sagas, on the other hand, painted dragons as hoarders of treasure, their greed symbolizing the destructive power of avarice. Fafnir, a dwarf-turned-dragon due to his insatiable greed, is one of the most notable examples. He hoarded a cursed treasure and breathed poison, only to be slain by the hero Sigurd, further emphasizing the dragon's role as a symbol of chaos to be vanquished by the forces of order. In medieval European myths, dragons reached the peak of their fearsomeness. They were often depicted as large, winged, fire-breathing beasts. The legend of St. George and the Dragon is a classic example. St. George, a symbol of chivalry and virtue, slays a dragon to rescue a princess, reinforcing the theme of dragons as embodiments of chaos and destruction, to be triumphed over by the forces of good. In Western folklore, dragons are not just creatures of terror, but also symbols of the human struggle against chaos, destruction, and greed. They are obstacles to be overcome, challenges to be met, and symbols of the trials that heroes must face. So we see that Western dragons, with their wings and fiery breath, are quite different from their Eastern cousins. Isn't it fascinating how the same creature can symbolize such different concepts in different cultures? The dragon, a creature of myth and legend, is one such example. It has been depicted in various ways by different cultures, and the dichotomy is truly intriguing. In the East, dragons are seen as benevolent, wise, and powerful creatures. They are often associated with water, symbolizing abundance and prosperity. They're revered as deities and are integral to various festivals and celebrations. Eastern dragons are embodiments of positive energy or qi, and are often seen as protectors of mankind. On the other hand, Western dragons are often portrayed as menacing and malevolent beasts. They're associated with fire and destruction, often seen guarding treasures or terrorizing villages. They are creatures to be feared and conquered, often serving as formidable adversaries in tales of knights and heroes. But what could be the reason behind this stark contrast? The answer lies in the cultural, religious, and historical contexts of these societies. Eastern cultures, especially those influenced by Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism, value harmony, balance, and cooperation. Their dragons, thus, are symbols of these principles, representing balance in nature and harmony between mankind and the supernatural. Conversely, Western societies, influenced by Christianity, often view dragons as representations of chaos and evil, akin to the devil. Western history is replete with tales of brave knights slaying dragons, symbolizing triumph over evil or chaos. However, it's important to note that these are not absolute distinctions. There are exceptions in both cultures. For instance, not all Eastern dragons are benevolent, and not all Western dragons are evil, but the general dichotomy exists, and it's a testament to how cultural values, religious beliefs, and historical contexts shape our perceptions and narratives. The dragon serves as a mirror, reflecting how societies understand and interact with the world around them. This dichotomy of dragons truly reflects the diverse ways in which different cultures perceive the world. Dragons continue to captivate us, featuring prominently in our books, films, and games. These mythical creatures, born of human imagination, have made their indelible mark on our collective consciousness, transcending cultural boundaries and time itself. Their enduring legacy is everywhere, and nowhere is this more evident than in the realm of popular culture. From literature to cinema to video games, dragons have ceaselessly inspired us, embodying our deepest fears and highest aspirations. Take literature, for instance. Who can forget the fearsome Smaug, the treasure-hoarding dragon from J.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, or the noble yet conflicted dragons of Christopher Paolini's Inheritance Cycle? These stories have breathed life into the dragon mythos, keeping the flame of fascination alive in our hearts. In the world of cinema too, dragons have left their fiery footprints. The majestic dragons of the Harry Potter series, the adorable Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, or the awe-inspiring Drogon from Game of Thrones, each one is a testament to our undying love for these fantastical creatures. And let's not forget video games. Dragons are a staple in this medium, serving as formidable foes, cherished allies, or even as characters that players can control. From the Elder Scrolls series, where they serve as the central plot element, to the dragon-riding adventures in Spyro, these games continue to stoke the embers of our dragon fascination. But why this enduring appeal? Perhaps it is because dragons, with their grandeur and might, represent the ultimate challenge, the insurmountable obstacle that heroes must overcome. Or perhaps they symbolize our innate desire to tame the wild, to conquer the unconquerable. Their legacy is not merely about their representation in our stories, but the values they embody: courage, wisdom, power, and mystery. These are universal themes that resonate with us, regardless of our cultural backgrounds. As we can see, dragons, with their rich history and diverse symbolism, continue to fire our imagination, promising to enchant future generations.